Greetings, Light Tribe, Jenny and Palmer here, Spirit Silver Moon. I guess this will be for Standing Holy Hierophant again, and this is further discussion, okay, for awareness on that cheesy little excuse for an article. Oh, you know, maybe I shouldn't say it like that. That article of stuckness, okay? So sometimes we counter negative with a positive, or we counter, or the other way around, or we counter unawareness with awareness. We approach sleeping with awakeness, however you want to label it. Okay, so this article, so interesting, was throwing around words like a socialist world message of love. Okay. Is it really necessary to try to squash or pin down or cage a word like love with socialist? Because that's their agenda. See, they want something to attack. And this is tied into political, isn't it? This is a gross interpretation or misinterpretation of the combination of religion and politics and how they try to use them together for their purpose. And what is that? Collective egoic groups. What are they doing? Okay, so in this article he said that that the preacher wasn't talking about the love of God as Christ defined it. Love is love, people. Love is love however we feel it. However we see it, however we understand it. And I'm going to let him. Okay, so love is different things to different people. People understand it from different levels of awareness and awakening and experience. Okay, and how blocked off and closed off they are or are not. So this person writing this article was saying that the preacher at the royal wedding was not, I've got some little notes here. He wasn't talking about the love of God as Christ defined it. He wasn't talking about the love of God. Love is love, and it comes from God. We all come from God. We are all love. We are all created from love. On a higher level, love. That comes down to this piss poor realm of duality where we bash each other over the heads and use labels like socialist. Okay. So, he wasn't talking about the love of God. Dudes, God is in everyone and everything all around us. Just because you don't see it and you want to hang labels of socialism on shit doesn't make you right. If you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. Okay? So, he wasn't talking about the love of God. Anytime anyone is talking about love, it's the love of God. So people are even trying to manipulate and market and twist and pervert that and pass it off as Christianity. Sickening. Absolutely asinine. God defines love as action, not feelings. They're connected. Okay? The feelings promote the action. The preacher speaking of it from his perspective is action. Speaking of love is sharing love in action, people. Regardless of whether any dumbass wants to judge it or find fault. Doesn't make it wrong. I'm going to read my notes here. Socialist worldview and twisting of words. Ha! What about literalist and fundamentalist Christian worldview and twisting and perverting of words? Twisting and perverting of the scripture, bro? What's that? That is what that article was spewing. It was putrid. It was freaking putrid. Okay? And he said, Jesus said to call out the sin and hate the sinner. Yeah. To notice it in ourselves. Call out the sins in yourselves. What did Jesus say? Let the first one the one who hasn't sinned be the first to cast the stone? Or, so to recognize this in ourselves. And what's the other saying about pulling something out of your eye? So with regard to your brother or anyone else who you're going to find fault with. Okay. So people aren't seeing their own faults and their own wounds when they sit on their pedestal, right? Maybe they drove up in their Mercedes, right? With a real expensive suit from the donations of the people who have been manipulated to pay for that. And then he says, Jesus was not a socialist. Yeah, did anybody really say that he was? And would he be appalled at the way some of these fundamentalists, fundamentalists and literalist Christians behave? Oh God, yes, I think so. I think it would like. They're not representing Jesus or Christ in a very positive way at all. And they don't see it. They don't see it. So, and he said, Jesus warned that Satan prowls the earth looking for victims. And where do you think he is? He, she, it, the energy, the fear, the falsehood, whatever it is. Where do you think Satan is when we'll go ahead and use the word of he? Because to them, everything is he. Everything is he. Okay, so where do you think Satan is when he's prowling the earth looking for his next victim? He's in a lot of religious people. I know that for a fact. He's in us in the form of our shadow side. Okay? We're always being tested, right? So we get to be tested and to rise above and overcome that shit. But first we have to recognize it. Instead of sitting on our little soapbox in our pulpit, with our misinterpreted ideas, pointing the finger and blame at people and saying, oh, Satan is in them, and Satan is in that, and Satan is in everybody else, but not me, because my ideology's right. And I understand what Christ taught. So that gives me a license to sit here and bash the shit out of other people. No, it's quite the opposite. So what if we take the word socialism out of our arsenal? And my friend had a saying the other day that your ego has a gun. People love to fire scripture. They love to throw scripture at people. They love to find fault and fling blame and judgment, and shame and fear and fire and brimstone at people. Socialist. Oh, he wasn't talking about the love of God. He was talking about love. Love comes from God. Except that so many religious people have fucked it up so bad it's not even funny. So, what if we took the word socialist out of the arsenal of the Christian ego, the collective Christian ego, but not all Christians? Because we must acknowledge there are some beautiful Christian people and organizations and things in this world that do understand Christianity at a deeper level, and they do good works, and they're good people. The salt of the earth, who would take you in, and they would care for you, and they would help you, and they would nurture you, and they'd give you the shirt off their back, and thank God for them, or thank the gods for them, however deeply we've done our homework so we know what we're talking about. And then there's the other ones. And It's a shame. It is a shame. And they're out there stroking their egos and trying to get people fighting against each other and trying to get people to convert people to their groups. It's all a test. It's all a test. And it's a test for you to find your love within yourself and in others. And it's a test for you to, when I was doing the other one, videos about judgment, because the Dalai Lama, amazing person, made there was a quote from him that love is the absence of judgment. And my friend was talking deeper about that, because we always have to make judgments in life, so it's not as easily understood as that. But I think what it meant is when you are in a place of pure love, it's something not easily achieved here. And it is an energy that's free of attachment to things, including ideologies, including your group, my group, your denomination, my denomination. It's above that. It's free of that. So it's love like, I can just be in love and acceptance. I am of God. God works through me. I know God is love. I don't have to judge my brother or my sister. I don't have to write articles slamming a preacher because he didn't do it right. Love would be, when it says love is the absence of judgment, that would be where love just is. There's no requirements, no prerequisites, no expectations, no slinging arrows, no throwing scripture, no ignorance, no falsehood, no unkindness. Okay, so if someone says love is the absence of judgment, maybe that's what they mean. Okay, that I can be in a room with people, and I can just accept their energy for who they are, because they come from God, and there are different levels of whatever, woundedness, awakening, understanding, perception, misperception, whatever they are. Maybe they're mean and nasty. Maybe they're the nicest person you've ever met. Where you can be in that room with them in an energy of acceptance and pure love, where there is no judgment. Or you're not thinking about, oh, well, I saw the way he treated that Mrs. Jones the other day, and I don't want to talk to that person. All judgment is self-judgment. So when you can be in a space like Jesus was, you have no need to judge anyone. It didn't serve him in any way to judge anyone. If judgment meant finding fault, if judgment meant he couldn't love them because they did or didn't do something, what is love for love? That is just love. No expectations, no requirements, no sin, which means to miss the mark or miss the point. No thinking, oh, that person did that, so I can't like them because they did something wrong, so I'm going to judge them. That's the farthest thing from Jesus you will ever find. And Christians, some of them do it every day. Everyday hypocrites. So whatever that is to the individual, I think it's so important to talk about this. And you know what? I hope that maybe if somebody sees this video or another one like it, that they might just take away some piece of awareness that might be helpful to them in their life. Awareness. You know, if you were behaving like this and you didn't know it, would you want to know? It's not easy to look in that mirror. But if you start to realize, gosh, you know what? I've been thinking like that, and I don't want to do that. And you make a change for the positive. You help and heal not only yourself, but the collective, the entire world. Socialist love. Socialist? Do we really need to put labels like that on love when the world is trying to heal? And when you do healing work with people on certain levels, there can be no judgment. Period. Cannot happen. Be aware. Don't say that someone isn't talking about the love of God in a right or wrong way. If anyone is ever talking about love, It's coming from God. Whether they interpret or misinterpret it the way you think they should or shouldn't or whatever. If someone's talking about love, leave them the hell alone and let them talk about love, whatever that is to them, even if you don't see it from their viewpoint. Love is God. If they're talking about love, they're talking about God, whether you see it or not. And if you don't see it, as I said, it might be time to pull your head out. Peace.